Hello guys, Kairofu here. Actually, just yesterday got back from getting my wisdom teeth taken out, so I apologize if I might slur some words. I'm still not talking completely great, but I am still here to go ahead and get this video out to you guys. It's been long overdue. I apologize. So let's jump into this real quick. So, sturdy faction, topic of the day. Let's jump right in. I will honestly start with the worst because I just want to eliminate them out and get it going. Right now, y'all probably thinking, oh, he's stacking Rhino and Boar. Those must be where to go for. But honestly, Boar was the biggest mistake I made. Luckily, there is a reset. I will eventually do that once I have enough to put into the Hippo because Boar is, I will say this, is almost worthless to build late game. Early game, he's worth putting into for at least Ranger and Assassin class, I suppose. It gives it to you with the Assassin class boost if you buy a purchase at the beginning of a game, but honestly, it's not even worth it. Like, the boar is just so useless in game. The best thing I think maybe he has is the passive ability that decreases healing amount by 30%, but even now there's a hero that can do 50%. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but honestly, he's kind of become completely useless. In some formations, he can be beneficial. Of course, in trial, it's good to have him around still. Because, like I said, I normally put him on mage to stop any healing abilities from coming through a strong. But honestly, he's just not strong. It's not even worth me going into abilities and classes. He is just never kept up with the other heroes, in my opinion. And I'll tell you guys now, those of you that have told me that you have a lot of sturdy heroes, the sturdy faction is overall the weakest faction. And one of these is the reason. The boar itself being almost completely useless. And I'll even go as far to say the bull is also pretty useless. There's a few exceptions, I think. The knight can kind of come in handy. I've seen it be useful to me in trial. I would not try to put him on a main team. And he does pretty decent. I mean, like I said, I love shields, so he puts a shield on all heroes on your side, so that's nice. So it's a decent benefit, but in total, his talent isn't amazing to me. If you want to tank him, maybe it might be useful to reflect some of that damage, but honestly, I've never seen it make a huge difference in battle, even in trial runs. Reflecting any of that damage to me is just kind of okay. Because if you're going up against someone powerful, yeah, you can reflect 20%, but you're almost going to get knocked out immediately. There's no revive. So you kind of go down fast, and it depends on high attack for you to actually do much damage with that reflect, and at least survive. So if you want to ever stack him, in general, go with the high damage, or go with a tank, and just hope you're reflecting good amount of damage, build healers, and maybe then you can make use of that ability. I have told the ranger is kind of useless as well. I'm told the mage is pretty decent. But like I said, I haven't really used them at all. If I put him in trials, I usually use warrior. And I just try to make use of that reflect as much as possible. I don't think he's very useful late game in battle. But in early game, I think he's definitely a viable option. If we're talking mage, knight, or warrior, he is definitely a viable option. I think assassin and ranger are completely out of the question, especially from what I hear. I've even tried them in trial, and they've done me no big benefits. So if you're out there, you have Bull Knight, and you're wondering who should you use in your formations and how should you build them, go Warrior. If you have other strong healers on your team that can keep them alive and keep use of that reflect, put them on your front line. It's great. Or use Knight if you need another healer. Or, well, in this case, Shielder on your position. I don't remember if I saw him. Yeah, he recovers HP as well. So he's a shielder and a healer, so it's pretty decent. It's not amazing, it's not incredible. And we also got to remember at a base level, luckily, all of these sturdy faction are meant to tank. They are more your tank builders. You will want them more on the front lines. And I know this for sure because they are a pain in the butt when you are facing them in campaign or in trials or basically anywhere where you're constantly running out of turns because they happen to always stay alive, which is frustrating because they are hard to take down. They are naturally just built as tanks. So building a knight naturally helps work towards that. You have extra heal and shield ability, and of course the warrior naturally has tank abilities too. Plus with the reflect, it's not bad. I don't want to jump in and say he's completely useless, but late game he kind of falls to the wayside a lot. So let's jump over to our hippo real quick. In my opinion, the hippo is pretty decent. I mean, I will give props to the ranger. The ranger's ability does pretty good damage. And it also helps build up its own tank ability by increasing damage reduction, and does silences and increases chance to do knights, which is alright. An increase of chance still isn't a full possibility. Well, increased silence not targets 100%. Okay, so that means it does fully do knights, which is pretty good. So that's a strong ability. Like I said, I do not use sturdy in my main formation, but in trial runs, I usually try to stack ranger, or I'll throw in a warrior because in my opinion, the hippo is probably one of the tankiest out there. And I mean, we can always go to the trigger upon revival. It's great to put on the front lines. It's going to revive, so it's good to go down pretty quick and come back up and continue pushing, which is a pain in the butt if you're up against another team and you're running low on turns and you're like, oh, I'm about to defeat it, and it comes back on like turn 12, and then you're like, gotta hope you have strong heroes that can one-shot it down. So that's why, in my opinion, warrior in terms of the sturdy faction, I think is naturally a viable option all around. Although I think in terms of the hippo, I think the ranger is probably one of your better options if you want a strong damage dealer in your formation, but you haven't yet. I go ranger, and honestly, mage, assassin, knight, honorable mentions, but to me, they haven't shown anything incredibly special to me. So, in short, go warrior if you still need another tank, strong tank formation, something that'll revive and stay in the front line. If you're finding you're having difficulties having your full team tanked and you want something to help do quick burst damage to keep you from dying incredibly fast, because honestly you're going to want to damage deal the other enemy team before they do it to you. So go this route. And I feel like that's the best way to kind of go with the hippo. Like I said, I'm not incredibly impressed. I haven't been given tiers, I know, because honestly it's hard for me to tier rate these. This is not amazing. If anything, I'd give the ranger maybe a tier 2, borderline. I'll go tier 2. I'll give it a tier 2. And I'll give probably most warriors in general a tier 2. They might not have great abilities that stack with them, but normally it's always a good route to go because they're tankier in general. And that's sturdy. They can all make pretty good tanks. So let's look lastly at the rhino. So I'm actually most impressed by the rhino of all things, I think the Assassin is a tier 1 hero. I believe it has good damage ability boost. And it's actually one of the ones whose passive ability still works with his talent. Because, of course, after death, you can revive and continue fighting until your entire team is wiped out. Certain passives, like you'll see with the mage, it'll say they are no longer effective after becoming Burning Rhino. However, Assassin will continue to play off the passive and will continue to do that extra damage as well. Plus, we're talking strong damage in general and will deal a crit to the lowest HP target in the back row. Also attacking the full back row and stunning other targets that's not the lowest HP target in the back row for 2 rounds. So we're doing a lot here, just in general on the Assassin. The Ranger to me is okay. Honestly, I'd put it tier 2, borderline tier 3. The Knight wasn't too impressive to me. The thing I worry most about the Knight is, like I said, it doesn't really stack well with the talent. But you are really boosting the passive ability, those stats that you normally start with. I'd say most of your sturdy, like I said, are really big tanks. All these are tank-based buffs. Your block, your crit resistance, and your damage reduction are all getting boosted there. So I would definitely say he is good if you're building that tanky lineup and you want to just say overlast your enemy. It's not a bad idea, but that's kind of all he really does. So you're not really going to be dying there. So not incredibly useful to me. Ranger, like I said, not very useful. Assassin, really strong. Probably your tier 1, only tier 1 for your sturdy faction. And then lastly, we have the warrior and the mage left, but the warrior is decent. We target all enemy targets, do extra damage. We're actually doing decent damage for the warrior, plus we get the tank buffs, which is nice. And we increase our own attack as well, so we're doing good damage. And that will continue on after death, but also we're thinking we're going to have more higher tank ability, so we may not go down as fast. But if you have a more full tank lineup and you put him in front, he most likely will go down and continue to stay fighting. So it's more depending on how you use him. I'd say he's solid tier 2, does decent damage, and still has those tank-based stats, so not bad. Like I said, no tank-based ability, so I wouldn't depend on him as a tank. It's more those that throw him in the front line, let him take some damage while our other heroes do their own thing, and then let his talent kick in, and hopefully the rest of your team can stay alive. Yeah. Hey guys, so I went to review the audio and the video file to make some edits and changes, and I realized it cut me off before the video completely finished. So I apologize for this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and quickly jump to the mage and finish up this video and send it out to you with the proper edits. So first of all, the mage is pretty decent. I think the biggest issue is the passives don't continue working on. So it pretty much means you got to throw him in the back and make sure he stays alive to continue using those passives that he has. And that, of course, doesn't make use of your talent. So they kind of don't coincide at all. They really contradict each other, which kind of makes me want to say it's not incredibly useful. I mean, you do have Dispel all buffs on target and 30% chance to silence the target for 2 rounds. So I guess in certain situations it can be useful. But like I said, if you have the Assassin, it's a lot more beneficial, and the Warrior can also benefit you as well. So I definitely wouldn't worry about the Mage, the Ranger, or your Knight too much, and I'd focus more on the Assassin and your Warrior. Well, anyways, guys, once again, I'm sorry for losing that audio and video section earlier. I'm glad I could get that fixed up for you guys and sent out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I appreciate all your comments and all your suggestions for new videos, and I'll hopefully continue to put stuff out. I believe next we have Mighty and Mythical Faction Heroes. So guys, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.